Hey guys, how we doing? You good? Oh, sorry about the delay there. Yeah, sorry about that delay. Yeah. Hey, we're back. Do you enjoy the new intro video? Noob? I'm not a noob. I'm a pro gamer. What are you talking about? Oh, but yeah. Yeah, so yeah, thank you again to everybody who it was very very last minute. But yeah, thank you again for everybody who made yeah, drawings of me and edits of me for that. That was great. Um, yeah, I decided I just wanted a new intro video. I was just got a bit bored of the old one, and I was like, well, we could do something. We could do something a bit fun, and I think that was pretty fun. Um, yeah, I might every few months I might make a new one and do something similar. I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, Mechanic Cat. Ah, that is music by Stream Beats, by the way. Stream Beats does a lot of the BGM I use. Um, got a forehead review. Yeah. So how is everybody today? Let me greet everyone. Now, let's get some BGM going. Actually, hang on. BGM, BGM, BGM. Where is my BGM? Here it is. Let's go. Echoes of Cruelty is a good one. Let's go that. Actually, no. Ashes of War. I like Ashes of War. And set that to repeat the track. There we go. Cool. Oh. Hello, bot. Goodbye, bot. Where's ban button? Ban, go away. A leopard to be named Christus. Yes, excellent. Thank you for reminding me. I will get the reward queue open so I don't miss any of them. And again, if for some reason we don't get that character by the end of the day, you will get your points refunded. So don't worry about that. Okay, let me just... Where is it? Name a character. Here we go. So everyone, last time, all your points were refunded if you requested something and didn't get it. Let me just close that. I'm just going to close a bit of junk up. 1 second. Okay. Okay, let me say hello to everybody. We've got Sunman, nice. Christexus. Christexus, you got first, and Sunman, you got second. You're lacking. Stop slacking. Hey, Cass Envy, how you doing? You like the intro? Good, I'm glad. Axel, how we doing? Hyena Henrik. Mechanica, how we doing? Yeah. It's gonna be Chris. I'll call you whatever I want. Chris SXV. So we're not gonna start with Darkest Dungeon just yet. There is something I want to do first. So I would like to start off today by doing hang on, let me get my YouTuber voice on. We're doing a YouTube video, so say hello to YouTube, everybody. Hey guys, what's up? Today we're doing a Termina tier list. Hang on. I don't usually do YouTube voices. Hey guys, everybody, what's going on? We're doing a Termina weapon tier list today. How's that? Is that a good YouTuber voice? Fuck you, YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Today I'm going to show off my forehead. You'll never guess what it actually says. Yeah, so it's not a character tier list. I've already done a character tier list. That was a lot of fun. We're doing a weapon tier list today. Good Mr. Beast voice. Mr. Beast is the GOAT. I'm happy to be compared to Mr. Beast. Completely bald? Yeah, I am. Actually, I'm wearing a wig. So, no, I'm joking. That's not canon. Okay, so let me just make sure this is all set up. Oh, hey, thank you for the follow. Hang on, I just closed my screen right when that came up. Who was that? Lux, thank you very, very much for the follow. Let me see. Is this... And Hyena Henrik, thank you again. I really appreciate it. This looks good, doesn't it? Hang on, where am I? There we go. Whoops. Oh, let me just trim this down a little bit so we can see chat. 200? Is that enough? No more. 400. That's better. Okay. Okay. So, the way I'm going to do it is I'm not just going to go based on stats, right? Because some of these weapons are so difficult to get that even though they have fantastic stats, it's sort of pointless, right? So I'm going to weigh up the stats, how hard it is to get. And, you know, if it's two-handed, because then some characters can't even use it. You know, just all that sort of stuff. So, now I had this open. Here we go. So we're just gonna go I don't know, just down the list, I suppose. I think we can just do it in this order, right? I think that's fine. We'll start off with the knife though, because everybody starts off with the knife. Hey Lux, how you doing? Just came from YouTube. Love your Fear and Hunger videos. Much love from Italy. Oh great, we stand Italy here. So just 1 second. Yeah, so we'll start with knife because everybody starts with knife. The knife. Here we go, S tier. Clean S tier. Can't deny. No. It's objectively the worst. It's objectively the worst in the game, and that's okay. We need a base. We need like a baseline, don't we? Everyone starts with it. Can you even find an extra knife while you're playing? I think you can get them if you kill other contestants. So if you wanted to, you could have more, but it's junk. So change as soon as you can. Change to anything else. Just except guns. Guns are special. But if you get another melee weapon, just change it. Just get rid of it. Right. So we've got that, and there's okay. So this one, what's this one called again? I'm terrible with names, so I'm just gonna crack the wiki open to make sure I get the names right. That one is Blood Sword. So this is from the ability Blood Sword that you get from the Ulmir skill tree, right? So, and it's single-handed, and it is quite nice. It has pretty good attack, and I think does it have slightly better than normal crit rate? Very slightly, I think. And it deals otherworldly damage, which is okay. There are some enemies that's useful against. Like the troopers. The Bremen elite guards. Otherworldly is pretty nice against them, but just the amount of investment you need for it, because you need to get using Ulmir is sort of pointless. Like, using his sigil is kind of pointless, and his spells aren't amazing. And to actually invest to get this, it's like, is it worth it? And then you've got to take a turn to actually use it. And you can put it like on first, you could spice it or whatever, but it's just, I don't know. I don't think it's entirely worth it. So I'm going to put in B tier for that, because it's nice to have, but it's too much investment, and it's just not amazing. So honestly, Blood Sword is like a worse version of the Heartless Sword. It's good if you can't get that though. Okay. K tier for knife. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I just think it has too many drawbacks is the issue. Can you see my mouse on here? Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, I think it's just got too many drawbacks for it to be like amazing. Hey, bro. Yeah, no worries, man. That's fine. What's next? Axe. So axe, I personally love the axe. You can get it really early from the woodsman. And it's got, hang on, let me just put that back. It's got decent attack. It'll last you for a little while before you get anything better. I think the earliest thing that you can get that beats it is, I don't know, I think that's sort of like, for a guaranteed early game weapon, it beats everything else. Unless, like, some characters can start with better stuff, that sort of thing, right? But for like just across the board, the axe is really solid, has nice damage, has a bonus to hit rate as well, apparently, which is pretty nice. And it's very slightly higher than normal crit rate, I believe. Just slightly. It's usually not like, it's like goes from like 15% crit rate to 20%. So you're probably not going to notice a big difference, but it, a little bit helps, right? So I really like it. I'm going to put that in A tier personally, because I think it's just a guaranteed early game nice weapon. Although one downside is, oh no, it is one-handed. Yeah, I thought it was two-handed, but yeah, it's nice. I personally really like it. I'm actually, I might put it in high B tier. I'll put it in high B tier, I reckon, just because it doesn't. You do inevitably change it out. If you're taking this to the boss, you've sort of fucked up. If you take it to an ending, you sort of fucked up. But I think it's a very solid, very, very happy with it. But it is just not that special in the long run. Okay, what do we got? Bayonet. I hate bayonet. Having a rifle is nice, but you can get guaranteed rifles anyway, and then you've just got sort of a weak two-handed weapon. Well, actually, it does a little bit of damage. Hang on, let me look. It actually does some nice damage, but it is two-handed. And there are better two-handed weapons you can get. So, there's a guaranteed better two-handed weapon you can get later on anyway. And this is entirely RNG and whether you get it. I don't think there's anywhere it's guaranteed to drop the bayonet. So that knocks it down a couple of points as well. Um, and you know you can get guaranteed rifles and you can get guaranteed better two-handed weapons. So it's just like early to mid game, this would be okay. But the moment you hit late game, you can get a guaranteed claymore, which just is just one of the better two-handed weapons you can get guaranteed, right? So it's sort of like there's just not much point to it, I think. And I've seen it drop twice in 100 hours of gameplay. So it's sort of like, well, I don't even have a chance to use it. So what's next? What do we got? Black Steel. Let's go. Black Steel. Fantastic. I'm going to put this in. Well, it's not top of S tier. But it is a fantastic weapon. The only issue is it can be a bit annoying to fight Moonless. But other than that, like, it's like, that might be the easiest S tier weapon to get, I think, is this. So, and it's one-handed, so everyone can use it. It's got ridiculously high attack. It's not the highest attack, but it's really high. And it has the I think it's the biggest crit rate, the highest crit rate. I believe. I'm just having a look now, and yeah, it seems like it is. And you stack that with Yigegetsu Amulet, and you get like over 50% crit rate, which is just fucking ridiculous, right? The only issue with this is when you get mind controlled when fighting the fathers, the snail fathers underneath the church, because the damage reduction still doesn't make it low enough that you will one hit party members if the person with Black Steel gets mind controlled, and it crits. It's almost a guaranteed kill. So that's the only downside to Black Steel. Because it's really not that hard to get, it's probably one of the weaker S tier weapons, I'd say. Because it is so easy to get, it's very solid. It's got a place in a lot of builds, and because it's one-handed, it can be used by everybody, right? And if you lose an arm, then that's fine. You know, it doesn't matter. But it is, I think it would be on the lower end of S tier. Maybe not the weakest, but on the lower end. Also, potentially a Dark Souls 2 reference. Oh, you're right. Yeah, they had similar stuff there too, didn't they? Sword chats can't stop winning. If Pav doesn't start with Bayonet, I'm writing. He shouldn't he? That'd be sick. And that would mean there was a guaranteed Bayonet too. That'd be nice. It might actually be useful if you can start with the Bayonet, right? Okay, so Sabbath. Look, I'm gonna say Sabbath is probably I'm gonna say C tier. Just because it's a Venushka weapon. You need to use a Venushka symbol in the Olmir Church to get it. It means you're not using any of the other sigils, so you're not using Sylvian for a free heal. You're not using Rare to get in and then, you know, do that special fight. You're not using Grogaroth for a sacrifice, right? So it's sort of like a trade-off, and it has a little bit higher crit rate. You know, it's got 20%. A lot of these weapons have 20%. I think the better tier of weapons have 20% crit rate, right? Has a little bit higher hit rate as well. But its attack is like only 38, and it's like, that's not really a big enough deal to warrant using a Venushka sigil. I've just never found it worth using, to be honest. Like, it looks cool, and having guaranteed otherworldly damage on an otherwise mundane party would be nice. But magic damage isn't really mandatory at all in Termina. I don't think there's enough enemies to really warrant using it. You know, maybe it's better on, like, you know, maybe when you go into White Bunker, maybe it's nice to have it, but it's like, well, it's I don't know. It's not worth it. It's just simply not worth it. So the Greatsword, right? Greatsword is one of the better two-handed weapons. I wouldn't say the best. And again, this is because it's guaranteed. You can pick this up in the museum for free when you get to endgame. I'm going to put it high B tier because just because the two-handed brings it down, and the relatively low damage for a two-handed weapon is just not worth it. It's good if you just need something, but there's better things you can get. And two-handed means that only certain people can hold it, so half the cast can't even hold the two-handed weapon. And if you lose an arm, then it's GG. Actually, that's something to mention about Bayonet too. Is if one of the characters loses an arm, then they can't use it. So it doesn't matter how good it is, right? And because all characters except Osaka can hold guns, but because this is considered a two-handed weapon, all the characters that can't use two-handed weapons can't use the bayonet as well. So like all the girls except Abella can't use it, right? So, hey Andy, how you doing? So, it's really not worth it. The bayonet is just really limited, right? So it doesn't matter if you can't lift it. Exactly. And that's what a lot of these weapons suffer from. It's like, if it's a two-handed weapon, then it's guaranteed half the cast can't use it. And if you lose an arm and don't have a spare Sylvian sigil around, then you're just sort of done, right? Next is the spear. It's got all the weaknesses of a two-handed weapon, and the damage is so low, you can get guaranteed weapons that are much better. Spear is only good if you get it early, and you can use a two-handed weapon. Like if you're running around Old Town with it, it's pretty good, but otherwise you get way better stuff. So I wouldn't bother for the most part. The next one, Kasara, is basically a better spear in almost every single way. So this Kasara. So I'm gonna put this on high. I'm gonna put it here. Below the greatsword, because the greatsword does still do a lot of damage despite its drawbacks. The Kasara is one-handed, so everyone can use it. It deals pretty nice attack. It's got 35 attack. The spear has 36, but the Kasara, you can get it really early if you beat the janitor. You can get one guaranteed. After that, it's random, so that does knock it down. Actually, you know what? I might knock it down a little bit, because if you can't beat the janitor, and some characters can't beat the janitor. You know what? I'm going to bump this up a little bit, because it is really nice damage. Some people can't beat janitor, so it is a bit of a struggle. So the RNG does bump it down a little bit. But it is very nice. If you get this early, then Old Town is a cakewalk, and it'll carry you until late game. You will definitely want to change out at late game, but then you can change out to other stuff. You've got more guaranteed stuff there. So if you get this early game, Kasara's very nice. It's very nice. Blacksteel did jack shit for your last stream. Why is it S tier? Well, that's because I decided not to go. I decided to go all in on magic. So if you actually use it as, and we're not considering like, magic builds, or are we, what builds are using. It's just sort of comparing each weapon. Blacksteel is low S tier. It just doesn't look low S tier yet because there's nothing else in S tier. But when you use Blacksteel plus Yigegetsu Amulet, which you can get at one Yigegetsu guaranteed, and if you get, I believe it's August's shirt or Kaliguru's shirt, both of them boost crit. So if you wear one of them plus Yigegetsu plus Blacksteel, you're going to be critting like 70% of the time, which is just insane. So if you build for it, this is just fucking fantastic. So Kasara is cool because it's kind of like my name. Love the lantern flower because it's one of my favorite weapons designs. I know, like, it looks sick, right? Lantern flower just looks sick. The burn is nice. Every time I've gotten it though, I've had better stuff already. So that's one of the issues with the craftable weapons, is that most of the time, by the time you get them, you've got better stuff. So I think all of them No, not all of them. Most of them are two-handed, which is a bit of a negative. But I think by default the crafted ones will go in A tier because while they do have downsides, they are pretty good. So the Lantern Flower has pretty nice attack, right? It's got 39 attack, which is pretty good. And it's also got the nice extra chance of burn, which I think it might be the only weapon that can burn. Yeah. So that's really nice because some enemies get absolutely dunked by burn, like logic. Because burn, status effects in Termina are just insane. Well, they're insane in Fear and Anger 1 too. So if you can get burn and poison on an enemy, it's just like, holy shit, you're just fucking destroying them, right? So like the only sort of downsides is that the damage isn't amazing. Like it's good, like 39 attack is good, but you know, you've got stuff that you can get guaranteed that's just better, right? Like, you know, like Black Steel, right? Plus it's two-handed, which is, you know, only some people can carry it then. Oh, excuse me. So it does have some big downsides, not enough to bump it down lower, but it's still very solid. So if you can manage to get the recipe for it early, like if you start as a Bella or you kill a Bella early, and that is one downside to the crafted weapons. You need to kill a Bella and then invest in her soul. I think you need 3 soul stones to get weapon crafting. It might even be 4. So it is a bit of an investment to get it. And you need to be able to carry two-handed. So it's like, those big limitations bump all the crafted ones down, except for this one. Meat Grinder I'm going to say that's low S tier as well. Just because it does have all the limitations of the other ones, like, you know, like it's two-handed, it's got heavy investment. But it's got ridiculous attack. So it's only got 35 attack, but it attacks 3 times. And it causes bleed. And I think it's guaranteed bleed, or it's like really high chance to bleed. But the problem is, you know, it's two-handed, heavy investment, and you need to... I think the recipe for the rest of the crafted stuff is like generic things that you can find everywhere, right? So you can just sort of get that by RNG. But the Meat Grinder requires a special item that only appears in 3 places. So you can make 3 Meat Grinders if you want, which would be pretty funny. I do want to do that. I do want to do that in a game in a game one time. Is make 3 Meat Grinders, because you can get one if you steal from a Bella. You can get one when you go down into Stitch's bunker. I think it's bunker 1. I might be wrong though. And you can get one from when you kill the mob. So you can get 3 bench grinders, which are a required ingredient for the Meat Grinder. If you play as a Bella, you can only make 2, which is funny. But you can make 3 if you don't play as a Bella, and you get steel. And it's just ridiculous attack. It's got fantastic noises to it. It's a terrifying weapon. I love it. It does have some downsides, but it's still really good. Really good weapon. Low S. Well, that's because there's some S weapons that are like amazing. There are some amazing weapons coming, so that's why it's low S. So next we have, what is it? The Molar, right? That's what it's called. The Molar. Molar. Hang on, where is it in this list? That's what it's called, right? Yeah. Okay, so the Mauler is pretty amazing, but it still suffers from some of those other issues, right? A big investment, or you can get it on... Yeah, I think you can get 2. You can get one on Masochism mode when you kill the Gull Brothers, and then you can get one if you get from the Radiating One shop. So if you don't know what that is, when you kill the Rontiels and you search their nests, you can get rust-colored pearls, and you need 10 of those pearls, and then you can go to the New God, the Radiating One, and he'll give you... He's got a shop for rust-colored pearls. So that is a little bit of an investment. You can pick that up if you kill all the Rontiels while regularly running around. I believe you will get enough pearls. I think you'll get exactly 10 if you do it on all the main path realm. You might need to visit one more, so there's a little bit of time. But insane amount of attack, 70 attack, chance to bleed, has a boosted hit rate. It looks cool, but the only issue is again is it's two-handed, and it does take time to get. So if it wasn't two-handed, it would be high S tier, but the two-handed means that half the characters can't use it, and if you lose an arm, you're fucked, right? So I'm gonna put it. I'll put it just below Bench Grinder, I reckon. And I think that because Bench Grinder hits 3 times, so it just sort of puts out a bit more damage, I think. Yeah, and it's got a much higher chance to bleed than Mauler. So Mauler doesn't have quite as high a chance to deal status effects. So I think Bench Grinder definitely wins out there. What's next? Meat Mallet. I love the Meat Mallet, right? So this one, you can get this one guaranteed, the Meat Mallet, from a bunch of enemies in the ruins. So you can rush to the ruins, and then you can get this Meat Mallet, which deals 36 damage, and it's got because it's blunt, it has a chance to stun whatever limit hits, and it has a slightly higher crit rate. So you can kit out your whole party with Meat Mallets, and like I beat Rare with Meat Mallet and 3 zombies, and a little bit of magic. Like I didn't rely on magic much during that fight because I believe he has high magic resistance. But Meat Mallet is very solid. I'm gonna put that on low A tier, because single-handed, easy to get a shitload of them. You know, actually no, I'm gonna put it below the Claymore. Actually, that A is too high. Really easy to get. Easy to use, got the nice stun, and it can guarantee carry to end game if you need it to. You can get better stuff guaranteed, but the fact is it's such a nice, easy to get, easy to use weapon, and I really like it. And the stun is just icing on the cake, so it's very nice. I'm very happy with it. So Mauler easily crow tier. Isn't one-handed? Mauler, no, Mauler's two-handed. I believe. Yeah, it's two-handed. Unless the wiki's wrong. It should be one-handed, shouldn't it? But no, it's two-handed, the actual weapon you get. Okay, so Pipe Wrench is not very good. If you're not a Bella, don't bother using the Pipe Wrench. It's okay, I guess, but the Mauler beats it out, and it's RNG to get it. So I'm just going to put it on low B tier because it does have all the benefits of the pipe of the Meat Mallet. It has all the benefits of the Meat Mallet, but it's RNG, and you're definitely going to get better stuff. If you're a Bella, it's fantastic because she has the wrench throw ability, but for everyone else, you've got better stuff. So don't worry about it. If you find it very early, then it's really nice, but you're going to be replacing it almost straight away. So, it's another one of those early game champion weapons, right? So, pistol, yeah, it's good. Some enemies get wiped out straight away, but you're not going to be using it in combat. Don't bother using the pistol in combat. It gets outpaced by basically every melee weapon. But it does have a lot of use on the field to take out certain enemies. You can take them out with like some enemies, like the shit dogs and the cherubs and the fecal hounds. You can take them out in a single hit, which is really nice, and you don't have to worry about it. But honestly, this is gonna be C tier. I'm gonna put it above the bayonet because bayonet is two-handed, and with all the limitations of that, and it's RNG, but you can get shitloads of pistols. So let's just do all the guns now. Actually, while we're here, rifle, very nice. Because the rifle can delimb enemies. So when you shoot them on the field, I don't think it does it in combat, but if you shoot them on the field, then it delimbs enemies, which is worth its weight in gold. Like Death Mask, you can blow off their limbs before you even get into fight, which is just insane, right? So I'm gonna put it in A tier just for that, because it makes fights just so much easier, just insanely easier. I don't think there's any issues to it, really. The only, it's only the same sort of issues as guns. Really, it's just you need ammo for it. And I think you need two arms to carry it, I believe. So which is a bit annoying, but you know, not really the end of the world. Because everyone can carry him. So, and shotgun, I'm gonna put it below. I'm just gonna put it below rifle. You know what? I'm gonna bump it down even more. Actually, I don't like it very much. It deals nice damage, but on the field, and apparently on the field, it has a chance to instantly kill enemies. But I've never had it sort of do that. And the ammo for the shotgun is so low. But it does have the added benefit of just shitting out damage even in combat. So this is the only gun I would probably use in combat if I didn't have because it just has such high damage. So I'm gonna put it on a high B tier. With skills, it's different. You can get a 2-shot kill on the field with any enemy with skills, but that's if you're investing in Levi's skills, and it's like, I don't really care. Great for cheesing Chugner. Yeah, like all the guns are really good for dealing with enemies that you don't want to actually fight. So they all have their place, but yeah, just sort of comparing them to other things that's in combat and in the world, it's like, eh. Okay. Okay, Red Virtue. Now this might actually be the best weapon in the game. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Red Virtue is the best weapon you can get. It's got one of the highest attacks. Not the highest, but one of the highest. It hits twice, so it deals 50 attack and it attacks twice, so that's 100 damage in a single hit. It deals otherworldly damage, which a lot of enemies are. It's up in the. I don't really think otherworldly damage is like a big deal in Termina, at least. Has a, higher than average crit rate. It's got 20% crit. But if you consider everything, it's a pain to get. It's probably the worst weapon to actually get, right? Because you got to go to the church, you've got to draw the rare sigil, which means you're not getting the other sigils. You've got to beat Moonless first, true. So you had to sneak into the church the back way, beat Moonless, use the rare sigil, and then fight the Heartless one. And you do get like the best weapon in the game, and you get good armor too, but it's like, it's a pain to get. It's such a pain to get. But it's just straight up the best damage in the game, like by far. So, you don't need it though. So that's the thing, right? I beat the game with a mallet and 3 ghouls. Like, you just don't need Red Virtue. The game isn't hard enough. There's no enemy that makes you need Red Virtue unless you're doing like a drug addict complete solo, no hexen run, right? So it's like, I don't know. There needs to be like a super boss added. This drops from the super boss. So I don't know. I don't think it's good, but it's not like it's you don't need it. And it's such a pain to get, so I'm not gonna put it on the top, right? The tippy top. I'm gonna drop it down below Black Steel. Just for that. Black Steel might end up being my favorite weapon in the game, actually. Okay, so we have the, what's it called? Scalpel. The Scalpel. It's like, it's D tier. It's better than a knife. I think it's a lot better than a knife, actually. Yeah. But, and it has a higher hit rate, but by the time you get it, it's good if you're Dan, because it'll carry you through the start of the game. But then, by the time you reach mid-game and you start getting like the mallets and stuff, the mallets are just better. So, it's, unless, if it's your only choice, then it's better than the knife, but it's okay. It's okay. Sergal Spear is very good. It has a lot of damage. It does 72 attack. And it's really easy to get now, too. It used to be way harder. Because now it's really easy to cut off Sergal's arm in the initial fight, so you can get a guaranteed Sergal Spear really quickly. The problem is it has the same downside of all two-handed weapons. But because the damage is so high, I'm going to put it on low S tier. because you can really easily cut off Circle's arm. Just have everybody in your party attack Circle's the same arm in the first couple turns, and you've got a free Circle Spear. The only reason it's so low, again, is just because it's two-handed, and not everybody can use it, so. What do we got? The sickle is, again, like, this is just D tier as well, isn't it, right? It's definitely better than the knife, and so you'll probably be using this because you can get it guaranteed from the villagers, but you're going to change it as soon as possible, so. The pipe is a bit better. A little bit better, but again, it's still like really low. It's better than the sickle, and it's definitely better than the knife. But the pipe wielding villagers tend to be a bit harder. And so they're often not worth fighting so early in the game. And it's better than the knife, so it's better than nothing, but I wouldn't worry too much about it. Officer's Sword is really nice. I really like the Officer's Sword. It's quite nice. So it's probably, some people start with a guaranteed, but again, it's like random drop. So I don't think you can pick it up outside of a couple of character starting choices. So it can actually be tricky to get, but it's a good mid game weapon. But when you start as a Bella, right, you can start with this, and then that lets you craft a weapon called Sandman's Kiss, I believe. Yeah. And Sandman's Kiss is a bit more damage, but it's also got guaranteed poison, and it's one-handed, which is really nice. So I really like Sandman's Kiss. I don't know if I'd put it in S tier, but I'll definitely put it at the top of A. I reckon it's really good. But it's difficult to get if you don't start as a Bella, is one of the issues. You know what? I might just shuffle this around like this. I think that's good. If you start as a Bella, then you can get a Freeman's. If you start as a Bella, right, you can start with the Officer's Sword, and then you can get, all you need is a couple bit more pieces of, I think you just need some scrap, right? And then you can kill Needles really easily at the start with a Bella because of her Wrench Toss stun. And then you can craft a Sandman's Kiss in the first 5 minutes of the game. And you've got a fantastic weapon as an alternate to your wrench that'll last you for a while. So she's got a fantastic start, Abella. In every single way, Abella's start is just fantastic. Blacksteel, low S tier, huh? Seems a little high. Yeah, it did end up a lot higher than I expected, didn't it? I'm gonna bump Circle Spear up because it's basically guaranteed. Despite its downsides, it's way easier to get than these two, isn't it? Okay, Reaper's Rake. 4 sickles attached to a broomstick. It's really bad for how much investment it needs. It's only got 40 attack. And it's two-handed. I don't like this at all. It looks cool, but I don't like that at all. I'm gonna put it here. Actually, I'm going to put it below the wrench, to be honest, because the two-handed and the fact it's only got a little bit more damage than the wrench, it's like, man, it's just not worth it. I'm putting it above Officer's Sword because you can get it, you can guarantee this. You can never guarantee an Officer's Sword unless you're like a Bella, or I think it's Osaka in Star Wars 1. But yeah, it's not very good at all. You know what? I think I might bump it down to C, to be honest. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna bump it down to C just because it costs so much to get, and it's just sort of it's not very good. It does look cool, which sucks. It really looks cool, but it just sucks. So for that investment, you would want like guaranteed bleed or something like that, right? You know? Because you got to kill a Bella, you've got to get weapon crafting, which is 3 or 4 soul stones. You've got to get all the stuff for it. Then you've got to go craft it. And it's like, can you give me something a bit more for that? And by the time you get all that, you'll get like a guaranteed mallet, which is almost as much. You'll get, and if you're killing a Bella, or if you're starting as a Bella, you start with a pipe wrench anyway, which is almost as good. So it's like, what's the deal? And it's two-handed, so half the people can't even use it. So it's just not. It needs a buff, I think, for that cost. I think it's really weak. And the final weapon, so this one requires probably the most investment in the game to get. Because you need to beat Sulfur Ending to get this weapon, Longinus. And it unlocks the spell in your Hexen after that, and then you can unlock it from Olmir's spell tree. But the upside is it has really high attack and it does otherworldly damage, and you can use it whenever because it's just a spell, so you don't need to find it. You can just get it; it's guaranteed. The issue is it's two-handed, so some characters can't use it. So I'm thinking this is actually going to be pretty low to be at TBH. Because of the investment. It looks cool. It looks really cool, actually. But I think it needs a buff a bit. Just a bit. So probably it does do a lot of damage though. 60 damage is pretty good guaranteed, isn't it? I'm gonna put it here. This is what I would do. Now, let's just go back over this, right? And what do you guys think? Did I fuck anything up? What do you reckon? Is this a good list or is this a bad list? What do you reckon? Black Steel. Boop, 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 boop. I think this is. I'm pretty happy with this, to be honest, though. Yeah, I'm not. I think I'm pretty happy with how this list is laid out. I realize some things may need a little buff. Yeah, I think, and you know, when you've got this many weapons, it's pretty easy to like mess up the balance a little bit. So I would like, I think all the ones in D tier are fine. Maybe the spear, just a smidge of a buff. These ones, I'd buff the bayonet, Sabbath, and Rake. I wouldn't leave the pistol. I think the place of the pistol is fine because it is meant to be a basic, really simple gun. And you can use it in combat because pistol ammo is more common, but I probably wouldn't buff pistol to be honest. I think it fills its spot nicely. I would definitely buff Longinus. Maybe a little buff to this, just a little. I think these are fine for the most part because, you know, it's like you still have to consider like what weapons do people start with, what can they find easily. You can easily find a pipe wrench, right? So that's not a big deal for it to be not very good. And you get a guaranteed axe, so it's okay that it gets outpaced later. Rake needs a massive buff. I think I would give these a smidge of a buff, just a smidge. And these are all fine. I would like another single one-handed weapon that's like top tier is what I would like. If you buffed Sandman's Kiss plus made it more expensive to compensate to get one more top tier, I think that would be good. But you know, Miro's adding more content coming up, right? Like we've got a new area coming up in the next month or so. So, you know, who knows what weapons we'll get? We'll have to revise the list, won't we? But yeah, what do you guys reckon? Happy with that? I'm happy with that. Let me take a screenshot. Hang on, you're gonna let me. Here we go. Videos. All right. All right. You want to play some Darkest Dungeon? I think it should be pretty fun. I'm pretty keen to get back into this. I was pretty cut last week when my stream was fucking up and I couldn't keep playing. Because I was really enjoying it. I was having a lot of fun. All right, let me get this started. Oops. Wrong button. Might take a short break before we start, though. I'll just get this set up.
Ruin has come to our family.
It's so loud. Are you gonna... Okay, why is this so weird? Hang on, sorry guys. Okay. Just take a short break before we go on to playing. Yeah, and we'll be right back. Hey, 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 how we doing, guys? Let me know if the music's too loud, by the way. This game's really loud. Let's just get into it, hey? Oh, hang on. There we go. Okay. So what were we doing? What were we doing? That's right. Last time I tried to play this, my net started dying.
I
Hey,
was lord of this place before the crows and rats made it their domain.
music barely audible. It's good now. Okay. Okay. So we want to see if we can get a leper, don't we? I should probably do this. Increase the size of my roster. Well, I don't have enough stuff for this anyway, so. Yeah, no, I'm all out of like. I don't have enough. What is it? Heirlooms? That's what they're called, right? Heirlooms? Busts, portraits, deeds, and crests. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so I guess we gotta go out. What's this? Nomad wagon. I don't want any of that. Graveyard, don't care. And what's this?
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Could be tripping, but all we see is some. Really? What is going on? Hang on. Hang on. This game is very weird with capturing the visuals. Hang on 1 second. Okay. Here we go. Should be good now. Yep, there we go. There we go, finally. How odd. How odd. Okay, so someone wanted to be called, what do we want?